40 seconds of logos are waterlogged. Waterlogoed? Also, logos usually take place before the actual film starts, just in case some other studio buys the rights and they can stick their own logos on them later. But this one burns the logos right into the movie, saying, "F you, Disney, you ain't taking this too." In case you confused it with Santorini, Arkansas. My big fat Greek Tomb Raider. And what a beautiful wedding. It's going to be great to get to know how this family plays into the rest of the film. What's that? We will never see them again after this earthquake? You literally had a wedding just set up an earthquake? Well, this movie's off to a shaky start. Could we not cut Lara Croft from the title of this one? They even moved the colon, so it now looks like Lara Croft Tomb Raider is her f***ing name.
Alright, follow Christos. When he dives, we dive. Maybe we'll get lucky and find whatever it is down there.
So, treasure hunters are the equivalent of people driving around mall parking lots, waiting for someone to pull out so they can steal the perfect parking spot. Apparently, Angelina kept her Girl Interrupted speech short enough at the '99 Oscars because she's showing off her new jet ski hardcore, instead of, getting to work on what appears to be a time-sensitive matter.
Alexander collected treasures from all over the world. He stored them in 2 places.
Action movie avoids usual trope of starting with a big action set piece by taking a huge expositional dump on a boat. This is not better.
If even half the temple is intact, it will still be the greatest find since the pyramids.
Wait, were the pyramids ever lost? How does one lose a pyramid?
The epicenter was here, but look at the currents along the shelf now.
Did I put in the wrong Blu-ray? Is this a seismic oceanography class? You do eventually have rating in your Tomb Raider movie, don't you?
So, while they're all diving there, the ruins will actually be...
Here.
This information about the currents seems simple, obvious, and public. There is no legitimate reason that every other raider would have missed this, except the ones from Oakland. Another full 10 seconds wasted just watching a freaking boat start to move across the water. We're literally 6 minutes in, and I'm not sure if the actual movie has begun. This shark jump scare is unnecessary, ineffective, and like everything else in this godforsaken jumble pudding of an opening, a complete waste of our time. Sure, she uses the shark later like he's on call or some shit, but f*** this movie anyway. Sheesh, Laura plunges through this coral with the ecological sensitivity of Daniel Plainview. Raiders got a raid, I guess. I feel like I'm beating a dead shark here, but why is this movie killing so much time? They literally slow down this pan over to reveal Laura entering. The ripples in the water give it away. Why do you hate me, movie? Here's 10 sins so that you know what you did.
This is huge.
And surprisingly not filled with a lot of water. Mind you, the structure has a roof, but it's clearly leaking, and the earthquake happened at least a couple days ago.
Hey, she's talking about you. No, you.
Thankfully, they kept all the sharp dialogue and witty banter from the first film intact. How does she always know if she sticks the pointy thing in the thingamabob, she will find exactly what she's looking for? Does every tomb in this series come equipped with perfectly spaced ledges for one to jump up on to find treasure? At the end of the day, Laura's pretty much just a show-off, right? I mean, in what way are these spread eagle somersaults a better way to get across these beams than, just scooting across? So this is why they called it Tomb Raider Cradle My Balls. Wait, did I read that wrong? Laura leaves her gun in the most convenient place possible in case killers show up and she has to hide out in this exact water hole. Forgetting how bullets would even leave the water that fast, how is she aiming through turbulent ocean water? Tell me honestly now, if I showed you this scene of temple destruction, would you be able to distinguish this between the Mummy, the Da Vinci Code, or National Treasure? Sure, taking out your adversary's way of escape is as obvious as nipples in a wetsuit, but aren't Ace and Gary's vehicles still around here somewhere? Come on, movie, at least attempt some continuity with this cut. She cuts her arm here, then swims with both arms and no blood here, and here. And then clearly shows no blood or cuts on either arm here. But you're going to pretend she was holding it the whole time waiting for her moment? I've seen rule-breaking, cookie-munching toddlers with chocolate all over their face tell a more believable story. If jump the shark is the phrase for that moment something you love officially loses its greatness, we can now use punch the shark for the moment that something that was never good in the first place officially becomes even more awful. Cause this movie totally just punched the shark. Raiders of the Lost Shark. Also, imagine everything that has to go right for this plan to work. First, the shark, attracted by your blood and wanting to eat you, decides to turn around when you punch it, and then swim by again so you can grab on. Then it decides to swim toward the surface of the ocean, instead of, any other direction. Finally, once it drops you off at your destination, it decides it's done wanting to eat you and swims away. The shark is effectively better transportation than most Uber drivers. A whole bunch of evil people meet in a place, and one or more of them are murdered because of their lack of loyalty cliche.
077444681. That is the account at the largest bank in Bern.
That's a lot of numbers for them to remember. Might want to hand out some cards or some shit.
I want you both to list every orb ever mentioned in Greek history.
So wait, Laura didn't even know what that orb was? She just thought it looked cool? She just ignored billions in gold because of some shiny lights? It's amazing how this movie manages to encapsulate the exact sights and sounds that enter my brain when someone says the year 2003 out loud. This happens quite a bit during my bridge sessions at the sanitarium.
Lara, these men are from MI6.
False. I have checked both these actors' IMDb's and neither one is set to appear in Mission Impossible Fallout.
The Pharaoh's son dispatched his finest soldier to take the box and transport it to the end of the world.
It was there that he found the restaurant at the end of the universe, flat earthers, and parallax.
Alexander found it using a map that was with the box. A map he then hid from the world. But the name he gave this map was Matty, and the literal translation for the word Matty is I.
Isn't it also possible he just called the map Mappy and was misunderstood, and it's been traveling along with Dora the Explorer ever since? Also, so glad we're bringing eyes back into the Tomb Raider franchise. I'm sure talks of triangles and planetary alignment is not too far behind.
Tell me where to find the orb.
Last we heard, it was somewhere in China with Chenlo and the Sheiling. Finding them would be next to impossible, but we'll assign 2 of our best agents to help.
Pandora's box is a threat to the entire world, and the most wanted criminal known to man wants to get his hands on it, so MI6 sends 2 men to help Lara, instead of the whole goddamn agency. And not only that, they don't even help.
I need Terry Sheridan.
Not in a million years, not if you were the last man on Earth.
The movie uses actual dialogue that has been used regarding Gerard Butler several times prior to this film. Movie misspells Kazakhstan. What kind of cheap production leaves typos in a final product? Gordon Dipshit here might want to lose the Beats by Dre. Prisoner could come up behind him with a shank and he would be too busy listening to his Celine Dion collection to notice. This is simply bad prison design. If you are making your prison with hallways this thin, you are basically asking to be groped every time you walk through. Convict just happens to be working out when you come to visit them, cliché. Also, why does Sheridan have his own f***ing cell when everyone else out there appeared to be piled in each of theirs with 20 other prisoners? Man, this prison has some interesting policies. They just lock Lara in with a f***ing criminal?
Sheiling are like ghosts, Croft. They move constantly, and their home is the most remote mountain region in China.
That is a very specific definition of ghosts. Sheridan must get his info off Wikipedia. So was Lara not concerned about killing innocent fishermen with her little pod entrance into Beijing? Can't even imagine MI6 would sign off on this strategy.
So is everything ready? Yes. Your clothes, guns, and knives are over there.
If Croft already had the hookups in China, then why does she need Sheridan? This cell phone somehow works in the deepest, farmiest regions of China in 2003.
Sheiling have men on every road from here to Luoyang.
Not every road.
So Lara decides that the Sheiling are not watching the Great Wall of China, and she drives her motorcycle on it to avoid them. But Terry is riding on the main road for some reason, so I don't understand what the plan is. Also, why aren't there like a million tourists walking around? You mean she has free reign to drive on the Great Wall without security or Matt Damon trying to stop her?
I expected more from you, Scott.
I don't expect anything from an English woman.
Having a conversation and being able to hear each other over 2 motorcycles. Also, this motorcycle ride is completely uninteresting, bewilderingly unimportant, and nonsensically edited, which is perfect for this movie.
Was that the love of your life, or just another bump on the road?
Skip!
You're late.
I'll never understand why henchmen are so cruel in public. There was no indication that he wouldn't cooperate, and there are plenty of people who could be watching. Also, what a shocker. Delivery kid is late. Now tell me why it matters. Does he get 5 less fists to the face if he's on time?
You never know when you could be holding little Shio or Tai by the hand as a mysterious ailment ravages their bodies.
This seems pretty elaborate for a movie villain. Most just carry around files or envelopes with pictures in them. This looks like he had one of his henchmen run down to Office Depot and get one of their nicer personal calendar packages.
You kill them, and I will give you all to Lady Croft.
My men tell me she's a few miles away from here as we speak.
So they did see Lara and Terry driving down the road then? Because apparently, according to Lara, they were going to take the road the Sheiling were not watching. I mean, it's either or.
The only way to get into their place is as their prisoners.
You might have told me that little gem before.
No, Lara, this is a movie. Information is not transferred when it makes sense for the characters, but for when it best affects the audience. Sheesh, take a film class already.
I'll be 4 minutes.
If that's all Angelina requires, I could be at least an eighth of the man she wants. This bamboo clearly completely misses him. So how does this stop him, and why does he appear to be in pain? Does he suffer from a deep fear of standing between wooden objects? Does he hate the sound of bamboo? Did he finally realize how awful the movie he agreed to be in actually is? What the hell is this movie? If Lara didn't see this gun lying here, she needs her Tomb Raider license revoked immediately. Did Lara do her ponytail on the way down? When they jump, her hair is free, but this, man clearly has it. Oh, I see. Perfectly placed ropes are perfectly placed.
There was a staircase we could have used.
Leonidas with a shirt on would be excellent at CinemaSins. Luckily, just outside this secret Chinese gang's mountain hideout, there's a road sign that tells you exactly how far away you are from Shanghai. Hey, remember these guys? If we can find Daniel Craig, we can get the complete set of Tomb Raider Lost Character trading cards. Tomb Raider movie inadvertently invents Google Glass.
Leaving my men and my country, that didn't actually hurt as much as I thought. But leaving you did.
Totally get this is supposed to be a sweet moment, but really all Sheridan is saying here is that leaving a hot woman he gets to have sex with is hard.
My men have the roof covered. Why don't you set down the square instead?
Having a cell phone conversation and being able to hear each other under a helicopter.
I've got a plan.
But I'm not going to tell you any of it, because our best chance is for you to be completely clueless to what I'm doing. Well, I guess it makes for an exciting action scene. Why did the Sheiling and Rice decide to make this deal in Shanghai, flying a helicopter directly into the city in a well-lit area? Why not, I don't know, anywhere else? helicopter blade survives this.
No! Run her over!
Well, no one can seem to f***ing shoot her in either one of these movies, so at least someone is trying a new tactic.
Come on! Come on! Hold it up!
This whole sequence amounts to 6 or 7 minutes of trying to get a box in a helicopter. Also, they still don't have the f***ing box in the helicopter. Helicopter in the air, the reddish glow of sunset. I swear this shot is one good CCR song away from being Hong Kong Skull Island. F***ing kids. This is a terrible security system. I have one camera that shows a guy's face, but not any other cameras that show if there are other people around him who could sneak in. How does no one see Lara here? She is surrounded on all sides by see-through glass, and it's 2003 Angelina Jolie. That's as noticeable as there's ever been. Terry turns off all the breakers in this place, but the movie tries to tell us that the robotic arms continue decoding the orb anyway. This Lara comes with a reloadable Croft crotch, gun sold separately.
We need more backup.
Probably something you should have decided long before arriving at this moment.
Have we received payment from all the buyers?
You don't want to control it at all. You're using the buyers.
Even if Rice assumes Lara is about to be dead, why give up this info? And it reveals 0 things that the audience gives a shit about. The viewer knows Rice is a bad guy and wants to destroy the world, blah blah blah. More Jolie in tight shirts and gunplay.
Don't tell me you've never looked around and thought, wouldn't the world be a better place without some of these people?
As long as we can start with people that choose to adapt video games into movies. Lara's face looks awfully clean for just having her head pressed in glass till she bleeds and then crashing through a glass window. Why is this sign in English first? Better question, why is it even here? Pretty sure anyone working here knows exactly what this is.
Bingo! 2 one-way tickets out of Hong Kong!
Wait, do construction sites just have jumpsuits hanging around waiting for people that need them? This is starting to feel less like an action movie and more like a roadblock on The Amazing Race.
The rendezvous point is 2.5, maybe 3 miles.
You're aware that no one's ever gone further than 1 mile.
And despite this record never being achieved, both of these assholes do more than twice that distance and land safely without one problem. By the way, why was this the rendezvous point? If they were successful in stealing the orb, then they would have had to find a way out onto this boat in the middle of the water. It's not docked anywhere. So when they made this rendezvous point the most challenging fucking asshole thing to reach ever. And if the entire plan relied upon finding parachutes on the top of the building and flying over here, why was the boat more than 1 mile away, considering no one had ever broken the 1 mile parachuting record before?
Hi, Terry! Good to see you!
How does everyone in the goddamn world know who Lara Croft is? Pretty sure she hasn't had to introduce herself to anyone in 2 movies.
So this rock is the map.
Well, that's what we keep being told, but honestly, we've spent over an hour already chasing down this egg McGuffin with extra cheese, and we are no closer to understanding what any of this actually means or how it works.
You can break my wrist, but I'm still gonna kiss you.
Strange, because breaking bones to me would signify a clear lack of consent. Is this a Miramax film, perchance? Just curious. The Jolie boner extends across the Pacific, stealing from James Bond and Indiana Jones. Might as well throw some MacGyver in for good measure. Also, this works. Also, not sure why video conferencing is needed at this point, except to remind us once again that Bryce and Hillary have nothing to do in this movie. How exactly did Rice and his crew make it to Croft Manor overnight? Flight time from Hong Kong to London is approximately 13 hours and 15 minutes, and then it's another 2 hours to drive to Surrey, which is where Lara's manor is located. So, assuming they somehow got on a plane immediately after Lara stole the orb, it still would have taken them at least 16 hours, and that's not including all the little things that would slow you down before and after a flight. Movie cast Jamon Hansu, but gives him less than 30 minutes of screen time. How the f*** did he know to go inside this house and ask this family where Lara went?
The locals call it the Mountain of God. There's a tribe that makes a home on it that might help us.
Could they also help make this movie interesting? I'm going completely numb, and it's my job to pay attention. I mean, Lara literally landed yet another parachute onto another vehicle a few seconds ago, and it didn't even seem worth mentioning. This movie is broken, and now so am I.
Men are coming for the box. They will open it. I'm sorry if I have to disturb your gods to keep this from happening.
This is exactly why everything bad that happens in these Tomb Raider movies is actually Lara's fault. In every case, the problem would be solved if she would just stay out of it. You know how to save the world, Croft? Go relax and binge every season of Friends on Netflix so you quit leading the evilest people in the world to the exact objects they can do the most damage with. You'll love it. There's a cute actress on there you may have heard of.
Inside, you will find a place of madness.
This line should be printed on every DVD case for this movie.
We're getting closer.
He said you were right.
But how did he know what Lara said? Kosa didn't translate.
Don't tell me you're not tempted.
That's what got Pandora into trouble.
Actually, Giovanni Ribisi's thirst for unobtainium is responsible for that.
I told them you would, rather than lose 2 of your closest friends.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Cradle of Life, giving your hero 2 sidekicks when she actually only needed none. Sheridan has an impeccable sense of where to land a helicopter. Also, no one in the villain party saw or heard Sheridan's helicopter coming in. We interrupt this Ramboing to acknowledge that obvious day for night scenes are obvious and extremely distracting.
Yeah, I've got over 150 hours between flight simulation games, models.
And Bryce stayed in a Holiday Inn Express last night, so there's that. This goes on for some time. This guy went to the Prometheus School of Touching Things.
What are you
advise you now!
Shadow creature battle formation? Apparently the Resident Evil creatures got bored in between outings and decided to visit the Tomb Raider set.
They seem to react to movement.
Where have I heard that before? How does she know how to do this? It'd be one thing if there were a riddle or a clue or something. But with no help, she just decides to drop the orb down this stump and everything changes?
Legend tells that when Pandora saw inside the box, she cried a pool of black acid for tears.
There are legal narcotics that do the same thing, and you don't have to fight off shadow creatures to get them. Lara allows herself to get choked by this dude, who is not her equal in any way and should have been kicked into the acid a long time ago. It's the river that CGs you to death. The last time we saw Pandora's box, Terry was futilely trying to pick it up using his gun, which melted as soon as it touched the acid. Now it's safely out of the acid and nobody did to get it here.
We're taking this with us. This is ours.
You're not walking out of here with that box.
Then what was the point of even coming here? To leave it and hope others don't find it? Just to do a little sightseeing in MC Escher Cave? Why are you even here? Movie plays the Who Shot Who game, even though we all know Laura's the one who will live. I'm sorry, but isn't this technically opening Pandora's box here? This is the equivalent of you can't just get a little bit pregnant. I mean, at least some evil escape there, right? Why does Pandora's box sink when it was in the middle of this pool for thousands of years?
The box is safe now.
Some things are not meant to be found.
Is it though? Because as far as I can tell, it's exactly where it was when we started this damn movie. It's a little submerged into murdery acid, but who's to say some scientist won't figure out the code to that later?
Knock, open up the door, it's real!
Lancalo, I am honored and grateful that you have invited me to your home on the wedding day of your daughter.
It has been 3 weeks since my last fish, on my honor, or may I be chopped up and made into soup.
You're late.
A wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
The school cut you from the team?
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
David.